I'm down on the lower level. It is going on 10:21 at night. It is Sunday night. It's December, and it's the 3rd. It's Sunday. I'm down on the lower level. I usually go to bed around 11 o'clock. I come down here around 9:30, and I usually read something, and I've been reading tonight a discourse concerning conscience, a heaven or hell upon earth, by Nathanael, Vincent. He lived from 1639 and he died in 1697. This is a Puritan reprint published by Northampton Press. And I was reading the application of the first doctrine, which is that man has a conscience. And he says, the fifth point, if there is a conscience in man, learn that God is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. Hebrews 11, verse 6. This is the ground and foundation that conscience has to show for that encouragement which it gives unto well-doing. Conscience could not set cursing and death before us if God were not righteous and just. Neither could it set blessing and life before us if he were not good and gracious. It is well for us that there is mercy and forgiveness with the Lord, that with him there is plenteous redemption. And else no conscience could have any peace, but every sinner, unless strangely stupid, would be overwhelmed with trouble and sorrow. 6. If there is a conscience in man, learn from hence the immortality of the soul. Beasts that die for good in all, and whose all die together, have no conscience to disquiet them. Man has a conscience, therefore his soul does not die. It is evident by the light of nature that the soul is immortal. Many of the heathens dreaded sin upon this account, lest their souls after death should be punished for it. But in the Scripture this truth is evidently delivered. Christ says that man cannot kill the soul, though he can kill the body. Matthew 10, verse 28. But if the soul did die or sleep with the body, then man would be able to do the one as the other. Nay, it could not kill the body, but he must kill the soul at the same time. Besides, the apostle says that we are willing rather to be absent from the body and to be present with the Lord. 2 Corinthians 5, verse 8. Now, what part of Paul but his soul could be absent from his body and present with the Lord? The soul, then, is certainly immortal. How many awakened consciences are upon deathbeds have dreaded the soul's immediate punishment? How many saints upon deathbeds have been ravished with the assured hopes that their soul being presently with Christ upon their dissolution? 7. If there is a conscience in man, learn the certainty of a judgment to come. The coming of the Lord to judgment conscience frequently brings to our thoughts. I judge you, says conscience, at present, but one greater, infinitely greater than I, will judge you hereafter. All must stand before his bar. Hark to what Solomon says in Ecclesiastes 12, 13, and 14. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. End of quote. When Paul reasoned of righteous temperance and judgment to come, Phoenix trembled, for his conscience was convinced. His conscience judged him and condemned him as guilty of unrighteousness, and he fears that God would much more condemn him. 8. If there is a conscience in man, then learn what it is that lays some restraint upon the lust of men and hinders them from running into such excess of riot as nature would incline them to do. Once sinners get victory over their conscience and become past feeling, then they give themselves over to lasciviousness and to work all wickedness and uncleanness with greediness. Ephesians 4, verse 19. If there were no such thing as conscience among the sons of men, though the world is very bad, yet it would be 10,000 times worse than it is. Earth would be more akin to hell though it be too much too near akin already. So that's kind of things I read before I go to bed. I also write in my composition notebook. I have my paper diary, and then down here I always write in my composition book. And I don't do it every single night. And then I also, that's what I basically do. I read. It's now 10:27, and then tomorrow will be a Monday, and Carol still has COVID. I still got a slight cough and a cold, but nothing really serious. Today I basically, like I said, I read New Testament theology by Eckhart Chabel, and then from 12 noon until I came down here, we watched professional football. I did feed the birds today, threw them some cracked corn, filled up the bird feeder with sunflower seeds, and wrote my diary, messed with the computer, looked at BookTube. The day went by. Somebody commented that about my video about Rimbaud, that they had just bought another book of his poetry. This is his Season in Hell and the Drunken Boat by author Rimbaud. This is by New Directions. This is really old volume. I found it at some thrift store. This was published in... What year was this published? It doesn't say. But it looks like in the 70s. So I hope you had a good weekend, that you'll have a good new week. Yeah, I don't plan to go anywhere. The weather is supposed to be cold and damp and cloudy and mixture of snow and rain. So I just thought I'd drop by. This is what I'm reading before I go to bed. And yeah, so I'll sign off. I'm not sure if I'll download this. I just felt like talking to somebody. I get kind of rambly at night. So anyway, until next time, bye.